Hi guys, this is Emnel and we are back playing as Mamluks. Right, so let's tally up our situation here after those few episodes. It seems that we have managed to stop Ottomans in their tracks, or at least slow them down. Since we are allied with Karaman and Akuliu. If we manage to ally with Georgia, or rather, well, we could do that, but if we wanted to ally with Georgia, it would be basically done on Anatolian front, but I don't think that's necessary. I think we have them more or less under control as far as we can. And I think what we want to do now is to continue our expansion towards into those two trade nodes that feed into Alexandria, which is Gulf of Aden and Ethiopia. Ethiopia will be a slog because Ethiopia is quite big and fairly rich, and there's a lot of stuff in this node. As you can see, it reaches all the way to here. So, but it doesn't have a lot of center of trades. Actually, I believe there are only those two here, which, if we manage to take control of, we'll have a majority of money in here. And as you can see, it's not a particularly rich node anyway. So it's of less importance, unlike Gulf of Aden, that, as you can see, is quite rich. 5.2, not counting additional 1.5 that is being pulled out of it. So that's our more immediate goal, although we can't really start conquering it all that well quite yet. So as you can see here, there are three centers of trade. There is an Aden, Mogadishu right here, and this one I am not familiar with, Zilia. So yeah, we'll have to work our way around the Horn of Africa. We have an option to start, well, I looked through it basically before I started recording, of course. So as you can see here, Makuria is allied with those two nations, which once we get a claim on them, will allow us to basically gobble up all three in one go, which is nice. This one is a bit tougher, so probably not. And on this we cannot really get a claim, but it's about the same. But we'd have to face Kaffa as well. So this one is clearly an ideal option right here. And of course, I mean, there are a few problems. First of all, if we so I believe those a few provinces here have been recently converted, as you can see, religious zeal, which will make them impossible to convert from Coptic for another 20 years now. So this is a bit annoying, and perhaps we won't take land from those guys for that reason, but we shall see. But this is our immediate goal. On top of that, I realized two things right after I finished recording last night. So I realized that still haven't sold the bloody boats, as you can see here. So I sent one of our diplomats to Naples with an offer. He should be coming back soon, because, well, I didn't on pause between episodes, of course. So we should be selling the rest of the boats, because if you take a look here, we are at our force limit, and we want all of it to be barks. The reason being that the only possible enemy for the time being in the Mediterranean is Ottomans. And as you can see, Ottomans have a naval force limit of 42 to our 25, which makes, even if we invested all the way into galleys, we could barely win a naval struggle against them, and at that point that struggle would be kind of pointless, because, well, what AI does when you have a stronger navy, they just dock up, and, well, they have quite a lot of territory to dock up in, so it's basically combat navy is pointless at this point. Another thing I've noticed after I finished recording is that I haven't picked a rival. There was no rival here, but as it turned out, Timurids managed to get some of the previous vassals back in that war they were losing when we eclipsed them, which meant that we were able to basically rival them back in, because they, upon regaining those vassals, they became powerful enough for us to rival them. So I rivaled them and sent a second guy to actually, I guess I haven't sent them to yeah, okay, I just recalled that guy. We will have to impose embargo on them. That being said, and as you can see, we still keep that +2 for eclipsing them, which is nice. We should be able to eclipse them soon enough once they collapse once again, which is, yeah. And so our immediate goal is to go to war against those two guys, and then I guess we'll go for Adal to get some centers of trade in Gulf of Aden. Right, let's see where can we send our forces. Send you guys to Aswan, and I guess we'll take half of you to Alab, or well, yeah, I guess, and we'll see what's next. Probably don't want to use. I will take the next one here, and we sold one. Let's use that free diplomat to start embargoing our rivals. Let's see, we still keep Eclipse even if after the day ticked, so that's good to know. Problem is, however, that as you can see, Cretian separatists are taking Crete, which will probably result in us not being able to get Renaissance spread from Crete, but that's alright. What we are getting from Cyprus is still pretty damn amazing. What next? Ah, right, and once we get the next diplomat... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, really? Oh, no, there goes my monetization. No. Yeah, I think we want... Okay, first of all, we should probably start building that spy network. Build the spy network, yes please. What is minus 4.2, which is alright. Let's see, are you guys... Okay, so they are actually in our home node, which means that we could simply go for hostile trading. Spy network construction. Okay. These are following. Okay, your merchant will be introduced from countries active in the same node. Okay, so it's for active in the same node rather than, you know, only being having land in. How about this? Merchants will gather knowledge of the terrain in the node. Okay, so this works as I assumed. But this, yeah. So I assume you guys are active here. Makuriata, yeah. So let's see how it's 12 months. We'll waste 5% trade node power. Yeah, so let's go for it. Just to check it. I of course will forget about it, and I will realize after 20 years that I am losing money because of it. But well, what can you do? Right, and since we are planning to finally sell the bloody ships, we may as well queue up a few more barks. And speaking of selling, can we interest you in a ship? Brand new. Well, apparently we cannot. Okay, I'm gonna sell free. Actually, not sure if I want to sell those because, so as you can see, we are fighting against pirates here, and if we stop, the knights will be able to ravish our coastline here, which would be annoying. So, okay, let's start by selling the barks, the cogs, I mean. You guys have no money. How about Pope? Pope is a good businessman? No, apparently he isn't. Siena? Oh, okay. There goes one. Fuck's sake, this is annoying. And let's see. So how high is it? Separatist plus 4.5. Alright, we need to deal with those bloody rebels, I guess. Okay, first of all, we need to improve army maintenance. Sadly, you are not supposed to run into them and die. Thank you very much. This army come somewhere here. And, well, I guess we don't need any armies up there, so let's just position ourselves properly. Although we'll do that later because you will run into one another, get war exhaustion, and so on and so forth. Noble families feud. That's surely nothing bad will come of it. Malatia, 7 rebels, local autonomy, Jaffa. Jaffa is owned by the Amirs, which means that we don't care about local autonomy here, I believe. Oh, actually, we do. Damn it. There was some. I was under the impression that while the floor is 25, okay, let's check. Surely have local autonomy here somewhere. I think I don't. That would be this. Local autonomy. So this is of course 50. Everything else is 20. I'm pretty sure. So I assumed that real autonomy here is 0, but floor of it is 25, so it's artificially increased to 25, but well, it's basically 0, which means that taking additional local autonomy would get it to 25, so doesn't really it wouldn't really affect us, but seems not to be the case after all. We had a similar event. I seem to recall there was an event that increased our autonomy some way, so either I remembered it wrong or I forgot about other things that actually increased autonomy in Jaffa before, and I will test it later. Honestly don't remember. Okay, let's put you, I guess, put you here and you here. There we go. And how is our, well, still ways away from building spy network, but I guess let's do the drilling then. And you need, well, as soon as we get this, we'll give you a leader. I might as well be this guy, and you can also do some drilling because, well, since we are paying anyway. Now, we are still gaining some money, so we might as well work on our marketplaces. One here, and sure, one here. Mystics, and we want to move towards legalism. Succession of Crimean Khanate will be better without Ottoman involvement. Okay, so Crimea didn't get. I believe that's either gets Ottoman dynasty or outright vassalizes them. I think it's the first one, but I haven't played Ottomans since like 1.0, I think. So, like, I, for example, didn't recognize that this is like the where I looked at the leader last episode. I didn't realize this is exactly the leader they're starting with, Mehmed II, the one who took Constantinople historically. So, and I believe that he wasn't 646 though. I think he. Like that's a new development. I think he was like 644 or 446, something like that. So yeah. Now, well, nothing else. So we can purchase one thing here. So we can either get lower aggression expansion impact, which is nice. Of course, that will last till the end of the era. All of those things will last till the end of the era, which means for another around 50 years more or less. 49 as a standard, because it's usually 1500s, around 1500 the Reformation starts, and 10 years after Reformation shows up, Age of Discovery finishes. Now, combat bonus, the terrain of capital, it's nice, but there isn't much terrain like ours. Let's see, so our capital is on farmlands, which means that we'd have some bonuses right here, and I guess in the Ottoman Europe, which not something that we are really keen on at the moment. Higher developed colonies, not for us. Cavalry armies, cavalry to infantry ratio. We are not as rich we aren't rich enough to do that kind of trick, so sadly no. Transfer subject, peace treaty, there isn't, like, I guess if we will go to, well, we would be able to basically win a war against an overlord and take your subjects cheaper, or at all apparently. So half a cost, climbing bordering claim. Oh. Oh, claims bordering claims? I'm not sure what that means. That doesn't make... So I guess I could, for example, get a claim on this province and there work my way from there. I haven't actually taken it before. And work my way from there, which kinda doesn't really help us at the moment, but yeah, perhaps that's supposed to be something that we would be, if we were able to fabricate claims next to on borders of our subjects. That would be great, but I don't think that means it. So aggressive expansion impact basically would the aggressive expansion diplomacy malus would be lower by 10%, which is okay, but we don't really care because our wars are so spread out that once we conquer something here, the rest of the world won't care that much, and this is just an edict that we could basically enact in a region, in a state. So not as important. So what we want is improved war taxes here. That would allow us to get war taxes for free, which will lower our basically cost of our army. Well, we'll see. I'll show you later. So war taxes cost. War taxes are here. If we are at war, we can lower land maintenance and maintenance and increase the availability of mercenaries, but that costs I believe 50 military power, which is not worth it. But with this, we can do it for free every time we are at war. So that's, I mean, there are not very good bonuses here. I'm sorry, save for the country-specific ones and ones for colonization, I guess. Not very important stuff. Okay, so I guess that's enough of the drilling, considering that we are already halfway through that. Now, let's grab that 10k. Who are you? Oh, our best general here. That's not the best one, so it's no leader. You can... There we go. You are military level 4. Of course, the problem is that we will have to spend some of our admin points that we kind of wanted to spend on getting cheaper tech. So I'm not sure if we'll take it all, but well, we kind of want to start expanding, and getting this will allow us to get claims on provinces in the Gulf of Aden. So we at least want to take that, and and then continue our expansion southwards to more interesting lands. As I mentioned, I'm not so keen on this, but I guess that would give us some access to this colonizable terrain here. Probably not worth it, but yeah. Anyway, where were we? Let's wait for it to go to 20. Now, what is the supply limit here? 21 actually. Okay, so let's just grab the army while we're at it. And this is 19, interesting. I'll wait till the first of, well, I still have to, but it's, there we go. So declare war. Those two allies of theirs, we don't want any. Ah, right. We're forgetting. Fabricate claim. Which one do we want? Kar Asrim, Ibrim, Karibrim. Since it has a higher development, and that will reduce. And declare war. Alright, I need to pause for it one day. This to go through, declare war, to move us towards legalism, because we are, as you can see, 25 towards legalism, because we are declaring war against infidels, which doesn't matter because we are at 100. But if we had any corruption, we could do that. That would move us 50%, 50 towards mysticism, and get 25 for declaring war. So yeah, there's that. But usually it's very rare that you still have a corruption the moment you. Okay, you know what? Let's actually remove root out corruption, and perhaps we will be using this, this mechanic to deal with corruption this time around, to just check how it works. It's worth it. How are you staying? And there we go. And you guys can go and wipe them out. You should. Okay, let's see that. I haven't looked at the terrain. It's doable. Well, we'll have to deal with those assholes, sadly. Do we want to deal with them now? No, we don't. We want to go this way and go this way, because, well, we'll have to deal with armies of those guys there. Okay, land threat damage could have been better. Could have been so. If you are not very familiar with how the combat works, basically early on in the game, shock is king, because basically armies, the bonuses to fire are very small, bonuses to shock are considerably higher, and well, obviously because firearms aren't all that great yet. Most of your armies are still using bows and such, so as the time goes on, fire will become more important, but for now what you are mostly looking in your generals is shock pips. And of course having pips for siege is always nice, but this is more of a nicety than well, convenience than anything else. Okay, let's move through here to make sure we reinforce. Oh, I'm supposed to. Mamluks occupied Vadi. Okay, so there are two ways of wiping a stack. You can be, if you are outnumbering enemies 10 to 1, you will automatically wipe them. And secondly, if you manage to take down their morale to 0, basically rout them within 2 full 2 rounds of combat, which is 2 rounds of fire and 2 rounds of shock. damage, and I think that's what happens here. Not quite, actually, so we're probably one way off. Okay, so that's not ideal, because we wanted to... we will suffer some attrition here. We could probably pursue them here. Who's this general? Okay, this is a good one, so let's go ahead. What are our allies doing? They aren't moving. Okay, this one actually is. What's wrong with my subjects? Come on, guys. Do some sieging. Yeah, as you can see, we are pretty... we are dealing with them pretty effectively. Now, since they are pretty low on morale, well, they will regain some morale by the end of the month, but that shouldn't stop us from breaking it within 2 rounds anyway. So, yep, as you can see, we wiped them. And so this is weird that if you try to interact with them on the same day, sometimes it will let you, sometimes it won't. Yeah. And this army is going to wipe that, and well, that's about it. And you guys can deal with that, and well, done and done. We can call those, and okay, what do we want to do next? I think we'll start working on building spell network. Okay, I was supposed to sell the bloody boats. Oh, I can't because I went to war, of course, damn it. I'm not good. I wouldn't make a good boat merchant, that's for sure. Okay, and I think we... Okay, how far ahead are you? Overload, blah blah blah. Let's just keep working on them, so I don't have to get back to that later. Basically wanted to keep it at 100, and yeah, so we wiped this guy as well. Spread our tackle. If we were playing it online, that is. And yep. And well, we need to take that as well. I forgot about it. I think that 5 is there. Do you have a shot peep? Siege peep, and he does have a siege peep. So. And I guess you can go there. And there we go. War 1. Not, as I mentioned, I'm not sure how much I want. Right, so here we are. Let's see, 5 years ahead. If I pick that now, that would mean we would get 5 years of increased trade efficiency, which is a nice thing. That would significantly increase our income. But we are yet to embrace Renaissance, of course, which is adds up to 11. And as I discussed earlier, I kind of want to get the scientific revolution first. So I think we'll wait and try to save our points. Mamluks Jazeera, and yep, let's get that. Actually, let's just go here, and this army will crush that. We could have waited for our allies, but for our subjects, but I don't think this war will cost us enough to warrant saving our manpower in sieges and so on and so forth. So let's not get too. Okay, Mamluks occupied Al-Qadaf. Okay, let's regroup our armies, and you guys can withdraw, I think. Same goes to you, and you can crush those guys. There we go. Now, let's look at possible pieces. So let's start with, well, let's start with you. Actually, we probably won't be able to because we don't have an access. That would cost us how much? Okay, so 79 of... Isn't that supposed to say how much it would cost us to core this? Oh yes, there it is. 130. It's a decent amount. How about you? Yeah, let's just assume we can... Okay, we cannot do it this way. 57. Okay, well, we'll see once we take it all. We'll get all the money too, so... Let's Sava. Our allies are doing some fleet fighting. Trade League disbanded because there wasn't enough members. Okay, let's pull our forces back, I think. We probably shouldn't pull them. Okay, let's pull them to Halei. Although, no, let's pull them to right there so people aren't walking over them. Yeah. We aren't taking any attrition around here, which is good. I guess we'll move back to Aswan a bit later. We still have that looming disaster, but yeah, doesn't matter. We can just we are going to revoke one province from Amirs. We're going to take this one. Well, it's 111, but since there are gems here, our local tax modifier is a bit higher, which is being lowered by the fact that Amirs control it. So there we go. We're supposed to be revoking those provinces owned by Amirs anyway. Well, some of them really to have some movement. So we don't really care about pragmatism, but well, if we manage to wait a few more months, now when I think about it, we should have probably waited like a year or so before starting this war. Then we could take this for lower power costs, get both ideas, and get it all at the same time. Probably time it with Renaissance as well, but Siege of Ibrim is over. Okay, let's move you out and move you out. You can all go there. And you can probably drill as soon as you get there. Sadly, we cannot queue it. Naples threatening our trade. Iberian wedding popped, so that binds our dynasties together. Wow, okay. Okay, let's see. Right, so Aragon, of course, became ended up in personal union under Castile, which means that we need to revoke the embargo because they are not proper rival for us. But, which is weird, apparently we didn't get points for eclipsing them, which is I assumed we would. Look at the look at Spain though. Alright, one thing I forgot. We're going to set Ottomans as a country of interest, so we get information about all the interesting stuff happening. I guess we can do it for Poland as well, so we can see when they are going to war. There's a... Okay, so that's interesting. So Hungary, actually, is it Austria or Hungary that went for it? Let's see. Well, Hungarian conquests are this. So that's interesting because Ottomans, well, Hungary will probably eat some of Wallachia here, and making Ottomans even less likely to, taking some even more land out of Ottoman's reach. That being said, it seems that we are out of time, so we will finish this war later and deal with all those intricacies of spending our admin points, or, well, our points in the most reasonable manner. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.